What if I told you that one of Hollywood's most beloved icons, a man the entire internet calls breathtakingly wholesome, grew up with almost nothing? No stable home, no father, loss after unimaginable loss, and yet he never stopped. This is not just a story about movies, or fame, or billions of dollars. This is a story about a human being who was broken, again and again, and chose every single time to get back up. This is the origin of Keanu Reeves. Keanu Charles Reeves was born on September 2, 1964 in Beirut, Lebanon. Even his name carries a story. Keanu is a Hawaiian name meaning cool breeze over the mountains. A name that would, in many ways, define the man he'd become. His father, Samuel Nolan Reeves Jr., was of Hawaiian, Chinese, English, Irish, and Portuguese descent, a complex mix that made Keanu one of the most ethnically diverse actors in Hollywood history. His mother, Patricia Taylor, was an English-born costume designer and performer. But the family warmth wouldn't last long. When Keanu was just 3 years old, his father abandoned the family. Gone. Just like that. A 3-year-old boy left without a father figure in a world that was already unfamiliar. His mother, Patricia, packed up her children and moved, first to Australia, then to New York, and finally to Toronto, Canada. Keanu grew up in a household that was always moving, always shifting, never fully settled. He attended 4 different high schools. 4. Can you imagine? Always being the new kid, always starting over. Their school was never easy for Keanu, and I mean that literally. He was diagnosed with dyslexia. Reading was a battle. Sitting in classrooms while other kids breezed through textbooks, that was a daily struggle most of us will never understand. But here's something fascinating. The same brain that made reading difficult gave Keanu something extraordinary, an ability to feel, to absorb emotion, to be present in a way that no textbook could ever teach. He gravitated toward hockey and theater. On the ice, he was fierce, actually good enough to be considered for a competitive path. On stage, something clicked. He found a language that didn't require him to spell anything correctly, just to feel it, just to live it. He dropped out of high school. Dropped out. The man who would one day command $12 million per film dropped out of school and moved to Los Angeles with nothing but ambition and a dream that most people in his position would have abandoned long ago. Hollywood is a city of broken dreams for most people, but Keanu Reeves was not most people. He started small, commercials, small TV parts, low-budget films. He was awkward on screen in the beginning. Critics weren't exactly kind, but directors noticed something behind his eyes. A depth, a stillness. His breakthrough came in 1989 with Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, a goofy, lovable stoner comedy that nobody expected to matter, and yet it made Keanu a household name almost overnight. America fell in love with Ted Theodore Logan. Then came Point Break in 1991. Then Much Ado About Nothing. Then a series of films that showed he wasn't just a comedic actor. He was willing to transform, to take risks, to be vulnerable in front of the camera. But none of that Hollywood success could prepare him for what was coming next. Because life had far darker plans for Keanu Reeves. In 1993, Keanu met actress and musician Jennifer Syme. A love story that felt like it was written in the stars. She was passionate, creative, deeply connected to the arts, just like him. They fell deeply in love. In 1999, just as The Matrix was about to change the world, Jennifer gave birth to their daughter, Ava Archer Syme Reeves. But Ava was stillborn, 8 months along, gone before she ever had the chance to breathe. Let that land for a moment. Keanu Reeves, at the peak of his career, standing on the edge of global superstardom, buried his daughter. The grief shattered the couple. They separated shortly after. And then, in April 2001, Jennifer Syme was killed in a car accident in Los Angeles. She was 28 years old. 2 years. Keanu lost his daughter and then lost the mother of his daughter in 2 years. He has spoken very little about this publicly. He is not the kind of man who performs his grief for cameras. But those who know him say that something shifted in him permanently. The losses left marks that no amount of success, no amount of fame, no amount of money could ever erase. And here is where I want you to really pay attention, because this is the part of Keanu's story that most YouTube videos gloss over. The grief didn't make him bitter. It didn't make him cruel. It didn't make him chase distractions. It made him quiet. And in that quiet, it made him kind. But the world still turned. And in 1999, right in the middle of all this personal devastation, The Matrix was released. It grossed over $460 million worldwide. It won 4 Academy Awards. It permanently changed the language of action cinema. And Keanu Reeves, the kid who dropped out of high school, the kid whose father left when he was 3, the grieving father, was suddenly one of the most powerful actors on the planet. He reportedly gave away $80 million of his Matrix earnings to the special effects and costume teams. $80 million. Because he believed they deserved it. Because, and this is crucial, Keanu Reeves never confused wealth with worth. He bought motorcycles for his stunt team. He rode the subway. He gave up his seat to strangers. He was spotted eating lunch alone on a park bench, not in a private club, not in a luxury restaurant, just a man on a bench with a sandwich. The internet noticed, and they had one word for it: breathtaking. By the mid-2000s, Hollywood had quietly written Keanu off. His films weren't performing the way they used to. Critics questioned his range. The industry moved on. And then, in 2014, John Wick happened. Nobody expected it. A 50-year-old man, grieving a puppy, turning into the most terrifying assassin in cinema history? It shouldn't have worked. It absolutely worked. John Wick became a franchise, a cultural phenomenon. The film that proved Keanu Reeves wasn't just surviving in Hollywood, he was evolving. And here's the beautiful irony. John Wick is, at its core, a story about grief. A man who lost everything he loved, channeling that loss into unstoppable motion. Keanu didn't just act that story. In many ways, he lived it. But the fame, the franchises, the box office numbers, none of that is the real story of Keanu Reeves. The real story is this: a man who was abandoned by his father at 3, who struggled to read in school, who buried his daughter, who lost the woman he loved, who was written off by Hollywood, who gave away fortunes without a press release, who rode the subway, who sat on park benches, who stopped to talk to the homeless man on the corner of Sunset Boulevard. There are countless stories, told by strangers, by crew members, by directors, of Keanu showing up quietly, paying for someone's surgery out of his own pocket, sitting with a grieving fan for over an hour because she needed someone to listen, showing up to a motorcycle club in the rain to ride with fans who had been waiting for hours. He never asked for credit. He never posted about it. He simply did it. In a world full of celebrities performing their humanity for followers, Keanu Reeves just is human. Quietly, consistently, without an audience. And maybe that's the most remarkable thing about his entire journey. Not the films, not the fortune, but the fact that after everything life threw at him, he chose warmth over bitterness. He chose giving over keeping. He chose presence over performance. The next time you watch John Wick, or The Matrix, or Bill and Ted, I want you to see something different. Not the character on screen, but the man behind it. A man shaped by abandonment, by loss, by grief so heavy most of us would have folded under it. And yet, he kept going. Not loudly, not performatively, just steadily, one step at a time. Keanu Reeves is not a superhero. He is not a god. He is a human being who chose over and over again to be good, even when life gave him every reason not to be. And if that's not a story worth telling, I don't know what is. If this video moved you even a little, Share it with someone who needs to hear it today. Drop a comment below. What part of Keanu's story hit you the hardest? And subscribe, because every week we bring you stories just like this one. Stories that remind you, resilience is not the absence of pain. It is what you build with it. Until next time, stay strong.